Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler. How do you family at home? Addiction. Addiction.
Wow. I'm
Whoops.
sorry. I should have.
That's a preview of my album next summer.
I thought it would be funny just to start it in the middle of you doing one of those silly songs. Because when we do sound checks and we get ready for the show, we do silly songs. And
Yeah. The sillier the better, because we try to shake out the sillies.
well, that's a lie. You can't shake out the sillies.
Yeah.
You'll always have the sillies.
And as an addict myself, I can make fun of that because I'm not trying to
what's
make
your
fun
addiction, Tyler? The sillies?
of fun.
No, it's alcohol.
I'm addicted to fun.
What's your addiction, Jake? Pills? No.
What? You know, my addiction is life. And let me just tell you, my good buddy over here, Jake, I know what his addiction is. It's life too, isn't it?
Prozac.
No, it's Xanax.
Yeah. Have you ever taken Xanax?
Yeah. You know
That's a thing where I understand how people get addicted to that.
You know what was my jam? Codeine.
Oof.
Holy fuck. I had codeine because I had a broken rib, and they can't do anything other than give you pain pills so that you can breathe while it heals.
It's kind of amazing.
And man, I felt like I was high all the time.
It's kind of amazing how much money is put into pharmaceutical drugs and how easily people can get addicted to opiates. Kind of amazing, isn't it?
You know how nice of a guy I was when I was on codeine? I was just like, shit would go sideways and I'd just be like, all right, now okay guys, here's what we're going to do.
Well, that's the problem, is they're addicting. They're good. They fuck you up.
I felt great.
And this planet sucks, so we're always finding ways to get fucked up. And you know what my drug is? Comic books.
Mm-hmm.
My drug is movies and podcasting. Which, can I tell you? No, never mind, because we're recording this in advance, so you still haven't seen Ghostbusters yet.
No.
But there's a character that's in this movie that I'm like, wow, they really just put a child version of me in a movie. Like,
wow.
Yeah, okay. Well,
does he just pop out of nowhere?
I'll just tell you.
Hey, you want some dick? Like that? Like
no, he's a child.
Well, I know, but that sounds like something you would do. Like,
no, his name is Podcast.
I get it.
Yeah. So.
You know, what'd be really funny though, is if I ever make a movie, like a big Hollywood movie. Well, first of all, you'd probably be there anyway, but you would play the guy who jumps out every once in a while and goes, "Who wants some dick?" and then runs away. Everybody's like, "Huh, that guy."
Can I?
Then you find out later his name is Richard.
This episode is dangerously off the rails. But for Christmas,
you find out later his name is Richard.
I just want to put this out there. For Christmas, if somebody really loved me, they would buy a cameo from Gary Busey, because he does cameos, and I want a cameo from Gary Busey.
What do you want him to say about you?
Ah, fuck. I don't even know. That's the thing.
When I almost split my head open on that Texas highway, all I could think about was Jake.
Well, let me tell you something, Jake. I'm Gary Busey. Gary. He has a TikTok, too, and I follow it. It's amazing. No, but, if anybody wanted to give me a great gift, it would be a Gary Busey cameo. Just saying.
You shit.
No. It's probably really expensive. Don't do it. But, I mean, if you
I
have
don't know
means.
how expensive they are. I mean, a lot of people did them. I don't know.
If we had a Patreon, that would be the goal. To get a Gary Busey cameo. That's our stretch goal.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Oh, my. Well, on the podcast? Now, that's a fucking dream. Don't even play with my emotions. Today...
Smokey?
Today we're going to do another deep dive episode.
And
this is something I've been wanting to talk about for a while. Because I think it's an interesting story. Kind of strange.
Yeah. Truth to tell, the reason why I've never watched this, because it's out there, but the reason why I've never watched it is because I know that it doesn't go any further than that. Yeah. And we'll get to that, but one of the things that was so strange about this is almost as soon as it was like, this is a really good show, like the next day it was like, and it's canceled. And it was like,
Yeah.
I heard it was really like everybody loved it.
And but before we do that, we're gonna do something a little
Sorry.
different. We're gonna flip it. We're gonna put our segments first.
Ooh.
So it's early, but it's time for. Hold on.
No.
Let me adjust.
Let me adjust my corset.
What?
I don't know.
Tyler's got musical Tourette's.
Doop.
It's time for Tyler's And they have stopped listening. Tyler, what's on the long box? What's in the long box today?
Today,
or on it? I don't know.
Today, I started watching a show on HBO Max yesterday that I had heard about or had maybe periphery vision of, like,
Yeah.
somebody else. So, I think honestly what I remember most about it was that you had posted something, I think, on Facebook about it. I am a big fan of black comedies. Like Fargo is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
That's what the Coen brothers kind of specializes in is black comedy. But
I always like it when it's a little bit darker.
Did you ever watch Barry?
I watched
great.
a few episodes. I haven't. I need to get back to it.
You're either laughing or like covering your face because it's so horrifying.
Right.
Like what's going on.
I love the scene where he confesses to like being a hitman and everything, and Henry Winkler was like, "That's a shitty performance."
Yeah. It's fucking
It's
great.
a good show.
And
from the few episodes I've seen, I liked it.
It's I'm not sure when they're coming back with it, but what is out there, one season of it, I think its second season is coming.
January,
Is called
January 9th.
It's Danny McBride creation, who is awesome.
Have you seen Vice Principals?
No, but no, I
that
never
one's
saw
really dark. But anyway, continue.
But
Sorry.
he made he also did Southbound and Down.
Eastbound and Down. Yeah.
Great fucking episode, great show.
I still laugh about that book title. You're fucking out, I'm fucking in. The Kenny
My
Powers
favorite was
story.
when he was making fun of the guy, the dopey guy in the pool hall, and he's making fun of him because he thinks he's a virgin. He starts going into like, yeah, well, me and my girlfriend do pubic play. And it's like, what? What's that? And he's like, well, while you're having sex, you tug at each other's pubic hair. And he was like, wow, I was way wrong about you. Yeah, it's really funny. But he's great in anything almost. But he's got this show which is just almost perfect because you're not sure from moment to moment if you're about to see a joke, like something funny, or something just like, oh my God. Like there were, during the first episode alone, I counted myself going, holy shit, like in horror, at least 5 times. And I found myself laughing out loud at least 5 times. So this show is great. It's called The Righteous Gemstones. It's got John Goodman is in it. And what's his name? Adam Devine from The Workaholics. And they're all 3 are really great actors in this. Couple other people show up in it. But it's fucking
Have you
funny
watched
as
all
hell.
of the first season yet?
I'm on season, I think I'm on episode 4, but I'm
Just wait till
trudging through.
Just wait till you get to episode 5 and you hear the banger "Misbehavin'." It's a fucking great song, and it's a travesty. It's not on Spotify because it's pretty great.
But that's my long box.
Also,
That's
shout
what I'm
out to
into
Walton
right now.
Goggins. He's fantastic. In that
Yeah,
song.
I can't wait for
Billy.
him to show up. I haven't seen him show up yet. I know he's in it.
Oh wow, I forgot he shows up later.
Yeah, he shows up.
He looks like he's also going to be a big factor in season 2.
Yeah,
They got Eric Andre to be in season 2.
Stop telling me stuff, asshole.
I'm just saying that's what.
Fuck off, man.
You're not going to believe the ending of this.
What are you going to tell me happens?
Because at the end of the season, the rapture
Well,
happens.
you just
and all the sinners go to hell. Nice. That was pretty good. Are you farting right now?
no.
You ripping a fart in the
That
man
was
cave
Cooper.
studio? That was the wind.
That was the wind taking the sinners to hell.
To hell.
To hell.
To H-E double
Hockey
hockey
sticks.
sticks.
H-E double pucks. Wait, hockey sticks.
This is the dumbest episode.
That would mean double A.
Shut your hole.
Double he ellipses.
Tyler, it's my turn to talk.
No.
You man.
Thanks for my long box.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Long box. Ow. Ow.
Oh.
Oh. Oh. Oh. Oh. Oh. We had too much fun with this thing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Jake Unlimited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arr. I don't know why this is.
Anyway,
People are just.
yeah, they've definitely.
That sound is 100 podcasts.
10 minutes
being
into this
clicked on.
stupid shit, I'm done.
You dumb motherfuckers.
You
Do you not know how to keep my attention? It's been like 27 episodes. That's what
23.
That's what they're saying.
I forgot to tell you, this is our Michael Jordan episode. Yeah. So this better be fucking good, okay? Because this has got a lot of reputation.
We are off to a bad start then.
Hot take, this is also the LeBron episode.
Hot take, this is a hot mess. Ooh, hot take, this is the LeBron. Ooh.
See, it's right there.
You're fucking bad. You're fucking bad.
Bad.
What's Jake Unlimited this week?
Sex criminals again.
I
just, to be fair, this technically isn't a Comicsology Unlimited thing. This is, I own the first 3 volumes. The Sex Criminals series. Matt Fraction writes it. Chip Zdarsky is the artist. He's actually got a really good run on Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing a Spider-Man and a Batman book.
We had Casey's Pizza. It's not sitting well.
Yeah, it's causing some burpage. You look like you got to poop.
No, I got heartburn.
If you live in the Midwest, you know what we're talking about.
No, I got heartburn. Yeah. Casey's. Yeah. Also,
hey, it's a gas. It's a pizza place that happens to sell gas.
You know what, dude? I love cheese, but not that much. Fuck.
We're getting sidetracked.
Yeah, sorry.
But Sex Criminals is a really good book. Matt Fraction is I love what he did with Hawkeye. And I love how he plays with the medium. And in this story, there's a lot of times that there's exposition and characters monologuing, but it's done like it's the trick where they're talking to you, breaking the fourth wall. But they're also in the scene of the flashback, so they're standing in the background saying like, and then I did this, and then it's like shows you what happened. It's just like cool what they do story wise, and I think it's. I was telling you off the air where I was saying that I think that it is a great realistic approach to relationships and how things work and like what it's like when you first start dating and things are very intimate and you're in the honeymoon phase and then what happens after the honeymoon phase. And
yeah, when you first see each other go to the bathroom with the door open. Oops.
and
I don't know how to handle that.
And just the anxieties that you have of being in a relationship of like, is someone falling out of love with me? Do they, all these other different things. And it's also extremely funny. And it's a premise that's silly. It is a very silly premise because the whole idea is it's called Sex Criminals because when they orgasm they can stop time.
It's silly if you're 17 and older. Okay. Just saying.
Your brow is very furrowed. You're like,
well, nobody under 17 should probably be reading this.
No, there's a lot of
it.
nudity and.
Yes.
And
look, there's
even one part where
a lot of these kind of sex they really don't make sense unless you've had sex like 5 or 6 times, at least. Like the first time you're still like, that was the greatest thing ever. You gotta have like 5 or 6 or like 10 maybe, so that you've experienced.
Oh, so you have one
sex.
bad one in there?
Yeah, you gotta have at least one bad one where you're like, that was not.
You need to have one where you're too drunk and you can't get it up. That's got to be an experience.
That one is there. You also have the one where you literally like as soon as you like you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. You ready? You're and then like literally just go right after you put it in. And just
wow, this got out of hand.
Just saying, every person's had it.
Yeah, but I would recommend it to anybody that reads. It just finished last October 2020, I think.
Mm.
So, and there's 6 volumes. I have the first 3, so I have to go hunting for the other 3, but. I would highly recommend it to anybody who likes a good comic book.
He likes good comic book.
I like it. All right. Let's get into the main topic of the show.
Let's
today.
do it.
Whoa, man.
Swamp Thing.
Whoa.
Anyway. Today we're going to be talking about...
That's our new sounder.
What?
Whoa.
I don't like
Just
it.
never mind.
That is not what we should do for the deep
Yeah,
dive.
fine. That's fine.
You fucking... I am so sick of you thinking you can pitch ideas live on the air. Who do you think? Are you out of your fucking mind? Anyway.
We're live.
Also,
Jake.
I love how our show is like there's a running gag that I'm like Jack Black and you're Kyle Gass, Tenacious D, because you know how Jack Black's character would always be little Kyle.
Well, it sucks because it's. I mean, I'm bald, so it's kind of like.
Well, that's not what. Wow, you went there, not me. I don't see baldness.
Listen, man.
So let's talk about Swamp Thing.
Listen, Jill, God made me this way. Then I reject God. This is a Mr. Show episode where David Cross comes out as being bald.
Then
Which
I
is
reject
like, I
God.
respect you, but I can't, but I believe this goes against God's plans. But God made me this way. Then I reject God.
This isn't a glee club.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So Swamp Thing, the show, was an original show coming to the Disney Universe app way
DC
back.
Universe.
I say Disney, yeah, DC
Yeah.
Universe, way back in 2019.
God, this feels like 30 years ago.
Yeah, I know, right? It was a part of 4 shows to launch the app alongside Titans, Harley Quinn, and Doom Patrol.
2 of those shows are great.
Yeah, I have not really watched Titans. I've heard it kind of yeah. I don't even. I've heard it's not
I
good.
was never a fan of the comic books that much anyway, so yeah.
Luke described me a scene from
Doom Patrol's just bizarre.
the season 3 episode, and I was like, that sounds stupid. And yeah. So this is a summary of the show from WB. This was like their press release.
Mm.
So, quote, Swamp Thing, which is based on the DC comic book of the same name,
Unquote.
followed that's parentheses. Followed scientist Abby Arcane on her trip home to Louisiana to investigate a deadly swamp-borne virus. She develops a close relationship with disgraced scientist Alec Holland, who tragically dies. But Abby soon discovers the real effects of the swamp after a gigantic swamp creature emerges and claims to be Holland.
What?
End quote.
What?
Yeah.
Wait,
So-
where's the
Oh, sorry. What? You know what Alec Holland said when he was going to be Swamp Thing?
I'd lay down my life.
And then when he asked how much, when they were like, how much do you want to be paid for this, buddy?
$1 million, bitch.
In the bank account right now.
That's why it failed.
So this is also
Just one of the many reasons.
This also is taking from Alan Moore's run. Like this was going to be based on his Saga of Swamp Thing run, which is smart because that's the one that most people identify Swamp Thing with. I mean, obviously he was before that and he's been in shit after, but when I think of Swamp Thing, I think the Alan Moore run with the whole anatomy lesson stuff and the more horror-based stuff, which is why I was excited because this movie or this show is going to be produced by James Wan, and James Wan makes a lot of great horror movies.
He made fucking Aquaman too, guys.
Yeah, and so he had a relationship with DC. So originally it was slated for 13 episodes, but during the show's production, Warner Brothers Television cut their order down to 10 episodes. Virginia Madsen, who played Maria Sunderland, wrote in a since-deleted Instagram post, quote, I'm beyond sad. What a terrible decision. We have been cut to the core by those who have never set foot into the swamp. And despite the rule, I'm going to use the hashtag Swamp Thing. End
You're
quote.
arrested.
You can't use that.
You can't do that.
You're fired. So yeah, kind of weird, and I remember seeing this, and this is what's the weird thing, and what we're going to keep talking about this too is
Doom Patrol had already come out at this point, right? Because I remember
Titans had come out.
I believe
I don't
watched,
think Harley had came out
no,
yet.
but I believe I'd watched a couple episodes of Doom Patrol, and they were doing it once a week too.
Yeah, because
So-
Harley was the last one of the original 4. And yes, so Swamp Thing was in between.
I was also watching World of Krypton, or was it just called Krypton?
Yeah.
I was watching that, which was pretty interesting, but didn't last.
Yeah. They put it on the DC Universe app, and then I don't think it's on HBO Max. I don't know.
They stopped after 2 seasons anyway.
It was a cool concept to be like tell a Jor-El story, but
Yeah, it was actually really cool.
but so yeah, the word comes out, and this is also happening rapidly before the show was even out.
Yeah.
So there was already drama surrounding the show before it even, and we'll talk more about this here in a little bit about the DC Universe.
Early
app and all that.
returns from critics were like just stellar.
Yeah, the show
Yeah.
and that's the baffling thing is because the show is well received.
But
we'll,
TV stations have never been
We'll get
accused of smart
So here's how
with
things
their good TV shows.
get more complicated and weird. So despite some drama before the show premiered, it was still set for May 31st, 2019. However, the show was shortly canceled after. When the news broke, hashtag Save Swamp Thing began trending, and James Wan took to Instagram to express his shock and dismay over the decision. So yeah, their first episode launches, and they also announced that it's canceled.
Yeah.
So how does anybody stay and watch that fucking show?
That's exactly what happened to me. And
Yeah.
we talked about this off air.
Like you would just, you literally said that to start this episode.
Yeah, Doom Patrol. I've gotten into. I basically binged the entire first season after the second season had come out. Like I started with it, but then I fell off. I started watching something else. But I binged the first season. It was just amazing. Every episode was just better than the one before. Then second season kind of turned me off, like starting it. I've since got back into it, and I love the Doom Patrol. I think it's a great, like, strange, whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, after I had seen one or two episodes of Doom Patrol, I was thinking about. I kept hearing this stuff about Swamp Thing, and I was thinking about it. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not check it out? And again, like before it even came out, almost it seemed like. I mean, I know it was like the same time as they released it, but it was like, yeah, why bother?
And yeah, that's the thing that was frustrating about this show for me is, I didn't really gain interest in Swamp Thing until he was announced to be in Injustice 2, and he was in that video game.
Yeah.
And then I went back and I read the, I think the first arc of Alan Moore's run, and I really liked the character. And I loved how just weird and bizarre that whole concept is, because it reminds me a lot of, like, you have the magic side to Marvel. Well, you have that in DC, but then you also have this thing called the green, which is this whole other element.
There's
to
the green
DC
and the red,
universe and all this other stuff. And I always thought that character was interesting, and I thought that character would make. And it's Wes Craven. Yeah, wasn't that Wes Craven that did those movies? Because there's two of them.
I can't remember. Yeah, I think
but
it was.
Yes,
yeah.
there were two.
All I remember about those
bad-
movies is Adrian Barbeau. Damn.
Also, the sex scene in the comic book is also handled better than in the movie. Because there's a sex scene in the movie.
I didn't know that.
It's awkward. But anyway.
I don't remember seeing the movies. I know I've seen them, but I don't remember.
But so, I would have been waiting to see something like that. And it was actually really cool because of the timing of this being announced and all this stuff was also the time when I was really interested in the character. So then to see, and you're right, the same thing happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
It killed the stakes because it's
so
like,
way to go.
Yeah, you killed your own momentum. Because I was, and this is someone who wanted to. I literally had gotten the DC Universe app because of the comic book stuff, but I also was interested in Doom Patrol, and I was and then that Swamp Thing was one of the shows I wanted to watch.
So I got Roku streaming TVs, and there was a lag between when the DC Universe app shut down and HBO Max was an actual app. Before that, it was just HBO, and you could get it through, I think, Hulu.
Yeah.
I think you could get the HBO Max, but it took a little while before the actual just like a HBO Max app showed up. So for a little while, that's also why I think I stopped watching Doom Patrol at first, just because I couldn't watch it. But yeah, it was really piss poor planning, Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Really piss poor.
So
you got to get a new app.
Yeah. DC Universe would release the remaining 9 episodes, and then in May 2020, CW acquired the broadcasting rights, and many hoped that the network would #save Swamp Thing and revive the show for a second season. Unfortunately, the CW's chairman and CEO, Mark Pedowitz, said in January 2021 that it's highly unlikely the show will return, though he also said that the character may appear in a different form.
Oh yeah, because that's exactly what we want, is a different version of the character. See, we're trying to save the show.
Here's the thing.
Not the character.
Here's the thing, and his design in the show looked fucking rad. Like, I liked how he looked and everything.
Yeah.
So I was unfortunate.
They got Abby Arcane totally nailed.
I still don't
with her
understand
who they got to play her.
I understand that CW has the distribution, but it's also CW is still WB. So why is it? Because I still think I have not seen Swamp Thing on HBO Max, which is silly and just not have it on there. Because why?
I don't know
what do
if
you
it
have
is
to
or not.
lose from that?
Yeah, if it is or not. I mean, if it isn't,
And we're gonna read more about this, but this show was originally a 3-season planned arc, which you don't see in TV anymore. So they said, we have a story we can tell in 3 seasons, and they were like, this is how we want to do it, and then you didn't even get it past 1.
I loved Deadwood.
And Deadwood was a 3-season
And
show?
that got canceled like before it was ready to be over. There was at least one more season of stuff.
How'd you feel about the movie?
It was okay. I mean, Jeffrey
Yeah.
Jones was in it, which is like, because he's a
it gives a
convicted
little
pedophile.
it gives a little bit of closure,
Yeah,
but
but you could tell during that scene that he's on set that everybody's like, why is he on set? Gross.
yeah. But I was
'Cause he's gross.
when I mean closure, I mean the whole story.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I'm glad. I actually
'Cause
bought it.
I loved
actually
Deadwood.
bought it on Google Play because I didn't have HBO or regular HBO, and that was before HBO Max was on. So I bought it. I actually own it.
That's funny.
Dummy.
I liked that show a lot too.
Yeah, the movie
and
was
it
good.
did feel
I'm glad I
unjustly
watched
ended,
it.
especially because the way that season 3 ends, you're like, well, what the fuck? Yeah,
Yeah, and then you find out it's not coming back. You're like, well, fuck you.
yeah. So, why did DC cancel the show?
Because they're dicks.
So, according to an interview with an anonymous producer at Business Insider, the cancellation of Swamp Thing came completely out of left field. Quote, "We walked away with the set standing. We didn't tear them down and go home."
And that's a good indication for those who are not in TV or whatever. If you're working on a show and it's got expensive sets, yeah, you wouldn't tear them down when you leave if you're coming back.
No, you just roll them over to the side and be done with them.
So literally what they're saying is just, hey, we didn't get rid of that stuff because we had every intention of returning to do more of the show.
It was a surprise.
Yeah.
Well, especially because it wasn't that. I don't even think it was that. It had to be close to premiere time when they said that
I don't know.
the season was cut down to 10 episodes. Because I don't.
Did they have to reshoot a bunch of shit or something?
And they, well, yeah, they did. They had to
'Cause they
reshoot
had to-
the ending because they had to cut off 3 episodes.
Piss poor, brothers.
And
Warner
I
Brothers?
don't know how TV production works, and I don't know that whole process, but I know that a lot of times the TV, they still are filming until, because don't they film the season while it's happening? Like,
It depends on the show, I think.
well, they shoot all the episodes at once or at a certain amount of episodes.
I mean, as far as I know, like, a 22 episode season, I think, especially like hour-long dramas or whatever, they're usually by the time the first show premieres, they're usually working on like episode 8 or 9.
yeah.
So it is an evolving thing. Like those bigger hour-long dramas, like sometimes they start the
point is, I
season
think
in-
it was
yeah.
still close while they were still in production. I
yeah.
think.
Well, sometimes you start a season off with like a clear plan in mind, and then things change while you're in the season. So.
So
Which didn't happen with this, except for they had to rewrite shit.
the article also noted that Swamp Thing had originally been crafted with a 3-season arc in mind, with the potential to go further if the show was a hit, in the form of a Justice League Dark collaboration.
Fucking way to go, Warner Brothers.
See, this is the thing. This is the thing that's so frustrating. Like, there's so many cool ideas.
There was
And you know what the problem is, and I think Marvel is doing it more now, and because they have to.
Yeah.
But DC needs to embrace their weirder side more and the weirder shit. Like, yeah, do a Swamp Thing show. Yeah, do a Justice League Dark shit. Like, that would be fun. Like that's why there's so much to
a perfect
both of these universes. of the big two, both Marvel and DC there's so much more than fucking Captain America and Superman and Batman and Iron Man. There's so much more, and Spider-Man. There's so many more characters inside those worlds.
There's a reason why they're called universes, because there's parts
so many fucking we haven't even scratched the surface in the MCU of the cosmic shit that goes on.
Dude, the Ava DuVernay project that was scrapped now, the New Gods. That was all Kirby's fourth world shit, and that shit is out there, dude.
Yeah.
And that's where like Darkseid comes from. It's like, why didn't
you got?
I mean, why do you?
That's where you get like Mr. Miracle and Big Bertha.
I gotta
and
be
Granny Goodness.
Yeah, I was excited about that, and I gotta be honest. Like the Flashpoint thing is like, okay, yay, but it's like, I don't know, man, because I know it's not going anywhere anymore.
It's frustrating because DC is so good at making more solo movies.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, it's frustrating. Is I would love to see a proper Justice League, and not a Joss Whedon cut, and not a fucking Snyder cut.
Have you seen that version of it called Justice is Gray? What the hell is that?
It's just a black and white version.
Fuck off, you fucking art house nerd.
So, like, how much more can you jerk off to the Snyder
Okay,
cut?
you know what? I bought the Logan, DVD,
Logan
Blu-ray.
I actually like it in black and white.
No, I bought that because it came with a version of, or it came with a disc of Logan Noir.
I have
now,
that,
I don't really need to watch it because whatever. It's a cool idea, but I basically got it because it was included.
Yeah.
I
It's
wouldn't
not something
have
you would
bought
buy.
it.
Yeah.
Art house nerds.
So one of the earliest and most widespread speculations was made by Movies.com writer John Golson via Comic Book Resources in a series of now deleted tweets.
And I remember those, yeah.
The story, which has been debunked, is that Swamp Thing was cut short because the series went over budget, and that the excess came mostly because of an accounting error blamed on the state of North Carolina where the series was filming.
Yeah, I remember this too.
So I remember seeing that too, and then I was thinking too, because regardless, either way, I think Warner Brothers comes out as fucking incompetent in this whole situation. But I remember seeing that come out, and that right there, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You are Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
You are arguably the second biggest entertainment company, like behind Disney.
Yeah.
You were like one of the biggest entertainment companies in the world, and you couldn't afford to do this because it sounds like it's fucking stupid. It's like you're going to cancel a show over fucking tax benefits, tax write-offs?
Yeah, at best you're incompetent, and at worst you're actively trying to kill a good show for no reason.
And honestly, I could see how this rumor spread and how this was thought to be true, because we know that Warner Brothers shipped out the Joss Whedon, the Justice League as they called it. They shipped that out knowing it was bad, knowing it was confusing, didn't care. They said make it 2 hours, and they got their money. Like they literally pushed that movie out so they can get tax cuts and tax write-offs or whatever the fuck. And it's fucking frustrating.
And the story kind of makes sense. And it went that the Swamp Thing's budget was $80 million, and I remember this when it came out, and that North Carolina had, through a program to encourage filmmaking in the state, which Georgia's had a lot of success with this, promised to cover $40 million of the production costs through state grants. Then, as the early story goes, someone in the state of North Carolina government messed up, and Swamp Thing's production was only granted $12 million of the promised $40 million. So short $28 million, the Swamp Thing production closed up shop. See, the reason why it makes sense is you're like, well, it came out from a reliable news outlet,
but the reason why it doesn't make fucking up.
The reason why it doesn't make sense is if they really cared about the show, $28 million, they would just, here you go, we'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
Here. Keep going.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have just shut production up. I don't know. But shortly after that story began to circulate, Screen Rant reported that the accounting error theory simply wasn't true. And this also makes sense why it's not. Swamp Thing was granted $12 million for its first season's production, so that part was true. But that's the legal limit for the grant program that Swamp Thing's production team applied to. So that's it. That's the most you can get. There was never anything about, picking up half the bill. They were allowed, it looks like they were allowed a separate grant of $4.9 million for the pilot episode because that came in around $20 million alone, that one episode. But again, there was never a discussion of North Carolina picking up half the bill for Swamp Thing. It was that's just not true. So
it is true.
No. Even if the budget was $80 million, the legal limit that they could get under North Carolina law was $12 million. So, sorry.
Which, yeah.
Nice story. And you
This
know
is-
who
I mean-
circulated that was somebody from Warner Brothers circulated that story to be like, it wasn't our fault.
It's also hilarious that, of course, Warner Brothers would do that too. We're gonna circulate this story, so
Yeah.
it was the North Carolina, those little bitches.
Yeah, it was. I mean, this poor state is trying to get some
Those
money.
fucking Tar Heels.
God
And-
damn it!
Anyway, so now we're going to the DC Universe HBO Max dilemma,
It's just
which again also shows the whole AT&T Warner Brothers thing. A, not a good idea, and B, they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
they should have had a plan in place, like
Th-
Marvel
this-
did or Disney did
we need to stop
when
this.
they acquired
We
Fox.
need to stop this lie in our culture
Mm.
that just because you're a CEO or a millionaire or billionaire, it means you're smart. It doesn't.
Oh hell!
It fucking
hell
doesn't.
To the fucking
Because none of these fucking assholes know what they're doing.
no.
All right, so another theory.
And then they leave and get a golden parachute. Nice.
Yep. Yeah, they
My fucking movie tickets
they,
go up.
They lay off a bunch of fucking employees, but their salary goes up. Yep, real cool. Another theory behind the cancellation is that DC Universe was doomed. In June 2018, AT&T completed the acquisition of Time Warner, of which the DC Universe streaming service is a part. When it reported Swamp Thing's cancellation, Deadline pointed out that, quote, DC Universe is being reevaluated following the completion of AT&T acquisition, end quote. So yeah, this was a big thing because AT&T, they were kind of the big pushers of doing the HBO Max thing and getting all of the which is smart.
I am actually cool with it, but like I was saying earlier, there was a lag between that. Like I wasn't able to access any of that content for like a good month at least before they set up HBO Max proper.
Yeah.
And maybe it was just because it was on. Maybe it was
put-
just because it was Roku thing. I don't know.
Well, it also took a long time to actually put those DC Universe shows up on HBO.
Yeah, it
Max.
took a little while.
And they definitely took their time with popularity because the Harley Quinn show kind of took off, and they announced the season 2 way early on that show.
Yeah.
And I think they really knew what they had with that, so they tried to push that.
Have you watched that Aquaman show yet?
No.
Have you seen it? I mean,
I know what you're talking about. but I
Yeah.
have not
What the
seen it.
fuck? What is it?
So it's interesting. In particular, Deadline pointed to Warner Media's upcoming streaming service that wrote that there have been I'm quoting here questions how DC
Turn
Universe.
the page when you hear the sound. Ding.
Yeah, you remember those?
Yeah.
You know what? I used to hate fucking popcorn reading. It's like, damn it, Teach, calling me out for not paying attention. You know what that is?
Popcorn reading?
Popcorn reading would be like you're reading the story as a class, and then you reach the end of a sentence, and it'd be like, HBO Max, Tyler, and then you would have to read the next thing, and then you go as long as you want, but then you'd have to call somebody out, and then it was trying to see who was paying attention. School's weird. So the implication,
school.
the implication seems to be that if Warner Media is going to have its own streaming service, a separate DC Universe streaming platform might be considered redundant, which it would be.
True.
If that's the case, then producing new original series in the interim could be considered a waste. The theory that Warner was moving on from DC Universe is true because we now know that the DC original series are all on
HBO Max. We knew
HBO
that.
Max. Yeah, so I think there's a lot of factors already. You know, as we're coming towards the end of this discussion about this, I think there are. It's so weird because you know what this reminds me of the Constantine show, where it seems like DC said, "Sure, let's do this do this project," and then get to a certain stage and just kind of give up on it. Because that Constantine show, one, should not have been on NBC. Because if you're going to do a Constantine show, he's got to say fuck and shit and cuss.
You guys
and drink
are-
and smoke.
Listen, what people are forgetting is that largely the FCC can't touch the streaming shit.
No.
They don't have the teeth to do anything about it. I watched a free show called The Freak Brothers. We were just saw an ad for it.
Yeah.
That they
A
played
Tubi original.
They played an ad for it during an NFL game.
yeah.
NFL show. During an NFL game.
It is a show.
It is. It's a little fake. During a game, and I'm not sure how you set up like parental controls because I don't need to. But any kid could just go to Tubi because it's a free app, download it onto their smart TV, and then watch that show. And I watched a couple of about half the first episode last night. A lot of fucking titties. Lot of titties and sexual content and swearing. Now, I'm not a prude, but I'm just saying, look, you have the ability to do whatever the fuck you want almost.
Yeah. And Constantine is a character that's crude and
put it on Paramount. On Peacock, which is the NBC thing. If you did that now, you could totally do that because they
now
have
it would be
content
on
like that.
Yeah, and I can understand there might be some disputes with NBC, Universal, whatever, because Constantine was before the
now it would be on HBO Max.
HBO Max. Yeah. But that to me, and that's what I think of a lot of when I think of this Swamp Thing show, where there's effort put into it. There's some, they had James Wan backing it. You had this, and then things just started to spiral out of control. Yeah, and it pisses me off because not just because I like Swamp Thing, but it more so pisses me off that it is so damn hard to get work in Hollywood. And TV, and to get those writers a job, get them excited to work and have a job, and then pull the rug out from under them like that, to cut them down to 10 episodes, and then just say, well, the show's out, but we fucking canceled it, so now nobody gives a shit.
By the way, you got to reshoot it so that the end
you have
makes
to
sense.
completely redo the ending because we cut three of your episodes.
3 episodes early.
Yeah. And so it looked like, and that's what's so like they don't fucking care. They're $1 billion company. They don't care that they just took those people's lives and ruined it. And,
they're getting blowjobs at lunch.
There's no guarantee those guys are going to get work because now it's probably a black eye on their resume to be like, well, you worked on that shit house fucking Swamp Thing show. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. House fire.
So
let's walk away.
Yes, let's wrap this up. So the DC Universe failures. Commenting on the cancellation of Swamp Thing on the horror website Bloody Disgusting, writer Brad Mizik. Am I guess? Oh, like you fucking know.
Miska
with speculated that upon its cancellation, Swamp Thing had become, quote, probably the first of many probably. Wow, the first of probably many scapegoats. My brain is dyslexic.
It's okay.
End quotes. So the problem Miska wrote is that the DC Universe was experiencing problems and something had to give. The result was, according to Miska, Time Warner refusing to give the still young streaming service time to breathe.
That's fair.
Comparing it to AMC's handling of the horror streaming service Shudder,
which is also fair.
He criticized DC Universe for giving up too soon and setting themselves up for failure.
No, yeah,
which he's right.
Yeah, to a point.
To a point. Yes. Yeah. Because the DC Universe app, the idea was to only have DC properties. Fine. And then it also had the comic book aspect where you could read books on your TV or on your iPad or whatever. And I think it could have worked. But again, because Shudder is very successful. People love Shudder. And Shudder's a brilliant idea. Just put horror movies on a streaming platform. Awesome idea. But I think the difference is Shudder, I don't know. It's hard to say because I think there's more effort to be average. There was more advertising behind Shudder. I think
it's kind of promotion wise.
Yeah, AMC pushed Shudder crazy. Like you couldn't for a long time. You couldn't go on a YouTube video without a Shudder ad, or you couldn't watch like I watch a lot of YouTube and watch videos, and a lot of those videos are sponsored by Shudder and podcasts, everything. So I think a lot of it had to do with advertising because I think we're in such a weird fate. And look, I don't like it. I'm glad that the DC Universe got rolled into HBO Max. I'm glad that they kind of did that. And to a certain extent, I don't mind an HBO Max. And to a certain extent, I don't mind a Disney Plus because they both have so many properties. But it's so hard to get behind DC Universe in a way because of, there's too many fucking streaming platforms. We left cable because of this.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want to spend $60-$70 a month, and now we're doing it again.
Well, hang on a second. Now let's chill out on that shit because I've heard that before. Let's look at what we're paying for here.
Sure.
Now I
understand
when I had all of my shit, I had $5 a month for Paramount Plus. I had I think $7.99 for Hulu, because that's the lowest one you can get. I think I had $4.99 for Netflix. So what? That's like $17 right there already. And then I had now I have HBO Max and Disney Plus, and I think what is Disney Plus? 20, 10?
I don't know.
I can't remember. See, we don't even know because we're willing to pay it.
But this is
The point is
what's your
that
point?
I don't pay nearly as much as I would have a cable bill. In addition, all of that shit I pay for, I have tons of more free shit that I can watch too. And in fact, if I wanted to get rid of all of the streaming services, I wouldn't because I love the Disney Plus Marvel shows and the Star Wars shows. If they give me content that I like and I want to watch it, I'll keep it. But it depends on what you're putting out there. Like Tubi is kind of smart.
Just a lot.
Roku channel is kind of smart because they have that new Bill Burr Immoral Compass show, which is actually out. I haven't seen it yet, but it looks like it might be funny. Bill Burr's a funny guy.
Funny guy.
He's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. But those are free streaming services, free streaming apps that are offering free original content, and they're just putting ads in it and selling ad time and making them fucking mint. I'm just saying, there's a way to do it without making us pay for it.
There's also stuff like, Apple TV Plus that is very successful.
Amazon Prime or Prime TV.
Apple TV Plus is so successful because they are committed to doing really good project. Like they're committed to.
Oh, that Tom Hanks movie. What was it? I almost got Apple TV just for that.
I know.
Hitch or something? Or
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Finch.
The one that he's
with a robot.
I think it's the one he got COVID on. Isn't it? No, that was the Western.
Yeah.
And Ted Lasso is a show that I want to watch. Everybody I know that's seen it thinks it's fucking great.
Yeah,
and I've watched a few episodes. It is pretty fucking
okay.
funny. I'm not gonna pretend it isn't.
I would get Amazon just for The Boys.
I also want to watch.
Shit is crazy.
I also want to watch the morning show. That seems to be a good show for Apple TV Plus. But see what I mean? Like DC Universe's shows, for it to have had been successful, those shows were going to have to be fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I will say, Doom Patrol is way better than it should be.
Right.
To me, Doom Patrol doesn't make sense at how enjoyable it is because it goes whole hog.
You can tell
into that Grant Morrison shit.
You can
and
tell,
just says, "Let's make it."
You can tell that there's a lot of people that are dedicated to this
yes,
show.
and guys, and
including the actors and the writers.
People that really, because Gerard Way is a producer on it, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and he wrote Doom Patrol for a while. He did a run on Doom Patrol.
Well, like I said, Doom Patrol was like this weird comic book, and then I don't know if I told you about this, I think, but a couple years later, I went away from it, and it was still largely the same. They had like superhero costumes, but Eric Larson was drawing it, and that was his first big comic book job. And it was like, cool, I'm going to start reading this because the art kicks ass. And then when Grant Morrison took over, I didn't really read it anymore because I don't know if I just didn't read comic books at all. So I don't really have any knowledge of the Grant Morrison arc and stuff. I just know that it's highly acclaimed, and it put Doom Patrol like on the map basically. So, but I'm loving the show. I mean, having Brendan Fraser back is just like having an old uncle who was in jail for a while, you know,
unjustly in jail,
and he totally fucking like plays it like too.
He kills it as Robot Man.
Totally does. The girl who plays Crazy Jane.
Did you know that he's because there's that Batgirl movie?
Yeah, he's gonna be
Firefly.
Yeah,
I'm like, fuck yeah.
He's also the April Bowlby who plays
I'm also
what's her
excited
name?
to see Firefly.
She's very attractive and a great actress. Like, because if you my really only exposure to her beforehand was I think her name was Candy on 2.5 Men. She had like a 2-season arc where she got married to Al and she was an old flame of Charlie's. And I watched this because I was at home at 5:30 way before streaming, and that's what was on Fox. Anyway. But
I know you're talking.
She was a dumb dim bulb and everything, and obviously you know she's acting. But when you see like the vast difference between the two characters and how well she plays like Rita Farr, it's really really cool. The guy who plays Larry Traynor is cool. He's really good. I like how it explores kind of LGBT kind of stuff with the with that storyline a little bit.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of something for everything, and it's funny too.
Yeah. Too
fucking
bad.
weird.
Too bad we couldn't be saying this about Swamp Thing because it was unjustly killed.
You fuckers.
Wow. He's right though.
Let's go beat him up, man.
I'm really, going back and looking at this story, it just really fucking bums me out. And honestly, I think it also bums me out at how simple the ending to this story is. It really came down to, again,
They didn't want to take a chance.
This is the problem with glorifying fucking dipshits like Elon Musk and fucking Jeff Bezos.
His parents had
They're
an emerald
not-
mine in fucking apartheid South Africa, you fucking cocksuckers, by the way.
Yeah.
Elon Musk.
Also,
Yeah, suck it.
why are you picking on Bernie Sanders? Why is this?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Why is this 80-year-old man triggering you?
Right? You saw my
Sit-
Facebook post.
Yeah, but anyway.
don't need to
What
say
I
it.
want to say is stop fucking glorifying these assholes. They're
Yeah.
not smart. They're
They're
just
just-
lucky.
They happen to be in the right place at the right time and happen to seize the
And
moment.
all of these Silicon Valley, the HBO show, I think summed it up perfectly when they had that one guy come on as their CEO. He's a character actor. I can't think of his name. But he comes on and he does all these changes that they hate and don't like because all of these CEOs are the fucking same. And then again, I get frustrated because it's like, really, Warner Brothers, you're going to pay these fucking writers who are probably dirt broke, and this is a job that could make or break their careers. And you're like, yeah, well, fuck it, we're doing 10 episodes. Fuck it, we're canceling it. It's like, then stop committing to projects if you don't want to do them. Why?
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway, this has been another episode. Oh, Jesus. This has been.
Jesus. Oh my Jesus Lord. Oh my Jesus Lord. Oh my Jesus Lord.
Jesus wept. We love you, Jesus. Did you say good luck, Jesus?
I said we love you, Jesus.
Oh, good luck, Jesus.
Good luck, Jesus. I gotta go.
See you on the other side.
Looks like you're pretty comfortable up there right now, so I'll come back tomorrow with some water. See if you're still here.
Oh, yeah. Hey, did I tell you I've been playing some Halo lately?
No.
It's getting a lot better, but, it's still a...
Beta.
You know what that mean when a game's in...
Beta. It means I'm gonna throw up. Beta. Okay.
Sorry.
Are you satisfied now? Try another one. What?
I could write a book about what you don't know.
You know what, Skeletor? We made a whole fucking podcast out of what you don't know. We literally took that soundbite and made a podcast out of it last episode. Yeah.
What a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, pretty much. Are you just? You're not even talking anymore. You're just.
That's it.